And good evening, Jesus is God. How are you doing this evening? Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you so much, everyone who's popping in and chiming in before the show actually starts. We're glad to have you here. Trevor, glad to see you tonight. And Trevor, Scott is going to answer your question this evening. And Delilah and Fabian, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. And Sarah, thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for having your alerts turned on for our channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast, live, coming at you in bright and shining color, because what people need to see is me with greater clarity. Clarity, that's what matters, so that you can see that I dye my little goatee here. Guys, I love Saturday nights.
Porn? No, you're cheating on it?
Christina, thank you. We got one already. I love Saturday nights. And you know what? I say that as if we have been doing so many of them. This is the second. But I can say with the surety at this point that Saturday nights are definitely my favorite of everything we do here at the Podocasts. And, you know, I also say we as if we have a whole team of folks supporting the show. We absolutely do. We absolutely don't. There's two of us. But if anyone would like to handle our social media, my daughter told me that we need a presence. Apparently that's a thing. I do have to ask though, does this face look like it should be in more places? I mean, I think we're good right where we're at. But anyway, we're going to conduct interviews right now because we are a fast-moving channel and crypto is a fast-moving space. Are you ready? Anybody ready? Okay. Do you know what social media is? You do? Welcome to the Podocasts. Just like that. Email Belle for your perk package. We have punch and pie. And speaking of Belle, say hi, Belle.
Hi, guys.
An actual crypto girl in a little nub of a channel. And do you know why she's here? Do you know why she is supporting this? Do you know why she is the rock and the hard place? Punch and pie. It goes a long way. Belle takes care of the back end and the comments. I just do the writing and the talking. And you know, it seems to be working for us. For any of the OG podcasters, welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us. We are lonely people. But if you spread out the loneliness, it allows you to, soldier on, I guess. We're not really that lonely. I just think it's a funny line. If you want to see real loneliness... I mentioned this last time, but you know what? It's Saturday night. I can do what I want. My chroma key's off. Say that. I'm tacky tonight. If you want to see real loneliness, go to the Twitch thing, and visit the Just Chatting room. That is that's the granddaddy of lonely males aged 18 to 32 that spend an abundance of money watching very pretty girls confess their love for their audience. I'm going to try it tonight. I said, you know what? Let's see if this works. So I'm going to try it right now, and let me see if it has the same punch. Trevor, I love you so much, but I need a new microwave, and I need car repairs. Do you love me? Do you really, really love me so much? Fix my car. Oh, and I'll give you a punch and pie. All right, it's just absolutely kismet. So Trevor, let's get this car fixed, man. We're on it. So our little show, the little podcast here, we've had a hell of a week. I mean, for us, it was a monster week. We were actually mentioned by name in another video that was put up on the AMP Reddit. I was both thrilled and outraged at the same time, both thrilled and outraged. I think it's great that folks are watching our stuff, but we've been going at this AMP from a very different angle, very specific angle, case usage, what it is, how it works. And I just haven't seen a lot of other people doing that. Now, I reconcile myself to being emulated by looking at the much bigger picture. It's not about who is watching our videos. It's not about who is watching any AMP videos. It is about what they are taking away from the videos, anyone's videos. As long as good information is getting pushed out, it's good for the empire. That's you, that's me. It's good for the empire as a whole. So if anyone else would like to start doing what we're doing, I absolutely endorse that. And if you can't figure it out, I will write your scripts. Do what I did, but do it better. It's not about the podcasts. It's about AMP. I just thought it was pretty cool. So good information. That's what we need. That's the stage that we're in now. I'm seeing more and more AMP videos coming out now, and there's a couple people putting out actual information. Most of them, you know what? They're still welded to the clickbait thumbnails, but I get it. That's a YouTube thing. It's good for us as a community, and if you have a much bigger channel than I have, let me write the script for you. I have zero desire to be famous. I just like to talk about AMP. So let's talk about AMP price right this minute. If you have watched any of my videos ever, I like to think I make it pretty clear that the price at this moment does not concern me in the least. And I get it. It's your money, and everyone who got in early, we're fine with it. And for the folks who got in late, look, this is crypto, and this damn sure happens. But the reason that I am thrilled with the price right now is because I consider anything under 10 cents an absolute bargain. I mean, it's just a bargain. And anything under 6 cents is a gift. It is just a generous gift. Flex is rolling out. It's showing up more and more places. It is beginning.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Nathaniel Piper, thank you, sir. Flex is beginning its implementation, and it is going to be a juggernaut. This isn't my speculation. If you've watched my videos, you've seen my reasoning for it. Merchant fees are kicking in shortly. And you know what? It's not going to be a lot, but it will be a steady trickle of liquidity being purchased off the market and put onto the network. On July 1, the network will begin sustaining itself. It will no longer be purely at the whims of speculators and investors. It will do what it was designed to do, and that is to grow itself, increase its value, stabilize its price. It's starting. Now, keep in mind, this is in its infancy still. This is barely out of the womb. And for those who are seeing big-ass dollar signs on July 1, I'd say temper your expectations. You know what? You heard it here on the podcast. It's doing something. But keep in mind that there are 100 billion minute tokens. So the few transactions that are occurring on the network and the purchase of liquidity are not even going to tickle it, considering the sheer volume. But this is still in the beta test. And for the very first time on July 1, we get to see it in action. It's absolutely critical data that we haven't had yet. It's been theorized. Of course, I've theorized it. The numbers have been crunched. And I'm real sure that the folks at Flexa have a solid idea of the volume that they're going to see. But it has never actually been applied to the market directly before. On July 1, it stops being theory and it starts being reality. And I'm not going to say, well, now we know for sure. But now we at least know something. It gives us the tiniest bit of wind in the sails, and we can start making realistic predictions. Now, for me, from where I sit, I've never doubted it. I have never, ever doubted this in the least. I'm a pragmatist when I trade. Absolute pragmatist when I trade. But I'm an idealist when I invest. And nothing has happened that's changed my mind that this is a long project with ups and downs, slow implementation, and time to let the world catch up with it. It's a radical idea, empire, and they take time. Now, I really wish there was something I could say to try and calm the market. But you know, and I know, that there are not a lot of long-term viewers, people with the vision in the crypto space. People know crypto, but you know what? They really don't know crypto. They understand that it's digital, but not much else. And the bulk of the crypto speculators are in it quick and out of it quick. They're not here to build a better world or to embrace real innovation. They're here to make some bucks and move on. Bully. But if you started discussing fiat currency versus crypto, most of them don't even know what fiat is or why a currency based on a fixed standard is infinitely better. Now, I went on a bit of a rant last week on the live stream, and I lost a lot of viewers when I was doing it. But I'm not backing off from that. It is one of the most wonderful things about the Flexa network, and I will argue it forever, by not pegging the network to the dollar or the won or the yen, but by pegging it to crypto, which has an intrinsic value that is determined by the people trading in it. It's not fiat. By the very definition, it's not fiat. And the fact that it is pegged to crypto is the only reason it works. For hypothecation to work, which is what makes the Flexa staking system work, it cannot be pegged to the dollar because there would be no way to recover the collateral. It would be pegged at a one-for-one basis, and all it would be is a fiat network with lower transaction fees that are just a few large purchases away from being insolvent. It would remain as a very minor player in the payment space because it can't process more than $200 per transaction. Its growth would be anemically slow. It wouldn't work. They did it the way they did it because that's the only way possible that it would work. I thought I covered it pretty well in a couple of my videos, but I might not have illustrated clearly enough. So I'm going to do this two different ways and see if I can put it to bed. And Trevor, if you're watching, here's my answer, because if I wanted to type this out, it would take days. You, Trevor, everybody in the empire who is staked right now, you're the bank. You are the issuing bank. When a payment is processed on the Flexa network, you are effectively loaning the merchant the money for the payment. Let's say it's $10 to make it easy. Dunkin' Donuts, $10 charge. Flexa gives the merchant $10, which is what the merchant is owed. Flexa just bought the debt from the merchant. $10 owed, Flexa paid it. For the convenience of Flexa processing the transaction, the merchant slips Flexa, that's hard to say, slips Flexa, a little extra for the convenience, which is 0.5% of the total transaction. The merchant's done now. They are done. Now, Flexa is holding a note. They're holding a debt for $10. Let's say it was charged on a traditional Visa. Flexa is going to go to the issuing bank of that person's card. They're going to show them the debt and ask for repayment. If it's all on the nice and legal, Visa pays Flexa the $10. They give them the $10. Flexa made 0.5% for the trouble, and all is well. Now, I guess I'm trying to break that. Does that make sense? Debt is being transferred here, and Flexa is taking it on themselves to recover it. So what if it is a fraudulent transaction? And this seems to be where Trevor and I are breaking down a little bit. And it's not on you, babe. It's on me. I wasn't explaining it well enough the way I see it. So if it's a fraudulent transaction, Visa goes to the... if it's a fraudulent transaction, Flexa goes to the issuing bank, asks them to repay that note. Issuing bank says there were discrepancies. They're not paying it. That's fine. Now, normally, this note, this debt sheet, would be put right back onto the merchant, and they can attempt to recover it or just eat the loss. Typically, they eat the loss. And depending on their relationship with the issuing bank, sometimes the issuing bank will eat the loss or a percentage of the loss. It's going to depend on volume. If you're a great big company, you guys are going to split it. If you're a little mom and pop, they're going to push it right back onto you. But here's where it's interesting with Flexa, because right now, Flexa is holding the note. Neither the merchant nor the issuing bank hold the debt. Flexa holds it. And actually, if you're a stakeholder, you hold it. You're the bank for Flexa. So how do they recover it? Flexa effectively sells the note on the open market in the form of AMP. They sell the note. A comparable amount of AMP is put onto the Flexa network, and they sell it. They recover the $10 or as close to it as they can, and they put it back into the bank. They're sharing the recovery evenly. Think of the bad debt as someone who decides to no longer pay their credit card. The issuing bank is sitting on all that debt. Now, are they just going to eat it? No. They will attempt to recover as much as they can from the obligator. And if that doesn't work, they can try legal means. And if that doesn't work, they sell the debt for whatever they can get for it. Industries exist buying bad debt. I'm sure you or someone you know has been through this. In my very, very young years, I've been through this. Flexa does something almost exactly like that. Almost exactly like that. But they just sell it at market rates, whatever the price happens to be at that time. They recover all or most of it. They put it back on the network, gears keep turning. They're doing traditional lending in a unique way, using crypto that they are able to liquidate instantly. And that's why it will work with crypto. That turnaround time won't work with anything else. And I hope that made more sense. I hope I explained that right. How about this? I hope I'm seeing it right. I am absolutely not the gospel. I've done a lot of digging. I've done a lot of thinking on it. And I have put the numbers down to try to see how this would work and why this would work. And that's what I came up with. So if I'm wildly wrong, please address how. And I will try to see if I can come to terms with it. I'm not I'm not an echo chamber here, man. Absolutely not. If I'm wrong, please point out where I'm wrong. But the way I see it and the way it works and the way that it is in place right now, that's why I see that it's inevitable. I see that they are doing something, moving it into a traditional space that has never came up with something like this. They've never even thought of something like this. Everything they do is fiat. It's all pegged 1-for-1 to fiat. So they are incapable of doing what Flexa is doing. Every time they sell debt, they sell it at a loss. Nobody is going to give you full value for a debt sheet that somebody defaulted on. Maybe the mob, but they have different ways of recovering it. You know, Synchrony Bank is not going to send somebody out to break your thumbs and tell you to pay. So that's why it works with crypto. And guys, look, I hope I made that clear. If I did not define the process better in my video. And again, sir, that's straight for you, Trevor. I hope you're on the live stream tonight, and I hope that was right for you. If it wasn't, I'll try to find another example, or sir, you and I can connect offline and we can talk it out. I want to put out good information. So if you're seeing something that I'm not seeing, please tell me, and let's come to an accord on it. We've I was a little surprised at this, but we've had a shocking amount of requests to make a staking video to show you how to stake. And you know what? I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to put out the good information. It's just that there's tons of them. There are tons of them. How to stake AMP. Let me back up. I've never looked to see if there was a video that shows you how to stake AMP. I haven't looked. So I might be just, doing this right now. But I don't want to push viewers anywhere else, but credit where it's due. So if these guys have already done it, I don't see why I would do it, as long as they're doing it accurately. But I'll tell you what, for everybody who's asking, I'm going to look into it. But we're going to take 30 seconds after the break, and we're going to explain it. We're going to explain it. And speaking of breaks, we loved the format that we did the last time that Belle's mic worked. Thursday was embarrassing, but we really liked the format, and we're going to be sticking with it. I get to babble, Belle reads the questions, I answer them, and we have some fun with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anybody here tonight, please give me, I don't look, because if I see like 2 viewers, it'll really depress me. It's not that I wouldn't do it anyway, but I like to keep the mystery. So if there's anybody that is watching tonight, if you can please give me 60 seconds, we will be right back, and I'm going to talk about staking. So thank you. Thank you. I did glance at the comments. I saw that. Trevor, yes, sir. The source for the debt recovery is in the AMP white paper. Look, I can't quote it directly, but it's on page 13, 14, 15, right around in there. Read the section on hypothecation, and I think that'll clear it up for you. So, yes, this isn't conjecture on my part. This is what Flexa told me. Like I said, I love white papers, man. I just love to dig into them, and it's fun. So, Belle, did we have any questions? Anything that I need to address before I start talking about staking?
Oh, we actually had one really good question that was asked outside of staking on yesterday's video.
Hit me.
Adam actually asked, and Adam is on the live stream tonight, so here you go, Adam. This one's for you. Adam asks, any worries that some of the big guys like Apple, Amazon, or Google might use their vast resources to destroy AMP before it has its time to shine? By destroy, I mean roll out their own version of this tech before AMP gets stable enough footing.
You know what? Flex is going after big business. They are going into the traditional payment space. They have said as much, even though they're kind of tap dancing around it. Again, processing crypto, the way that they're doing it and the way that we can process Doge or Chainlink or anything like that, this is the beta test. They are using it as proof of concept. Look, this works. We can process anything. Doesn't matter. Will Amazon it? Well, typically, the most of these the larger companies, your Walmarts, your Amazons, your Targets, and so forth, they have a card. They have the Amazon Pay card and everything, but these are still maintained by traditional banks. So I think Amazon is Synchrony. If somebody wants to check on that, please feel free. But I think it's Synchrony Bank does all their processing. Typically, these companies, your Amazons, your Microsofts, anybody who's actually selling a product forward-facing, they don't maintain their own bank because now they are responsible for the debt incurred. So ideally, in an ideal world, we know this isn't true, but in an ideal world, for every dollar that is available to be spent on a credit card, a similar dollar must be held by the issuing bank. Now, that's on a completely up-and-up system. So Synchrony, for all of the money that they have on the Amazon credit cards and all the other places, and I know they are just a giant player, but again, they are an issuing bank. So for every time they give out a credit card that has a $15,000 credit limit on it, they have to hold $15,000 cash in reserve. Now, through the machinations of large-scale enterprise, there's plenty of workarounds for that. So they can, it's called virtual debt, and they can basically issue these things carte blanche without having to keep the money stored because there is a process to recover it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they have an ability to do something that's like Flexa does not have the ability to do, meaning Flexa cannot just willy-nilly issue debt. They can only issue debt that they can cover on a one-to-one basis. It's not fiat. It's not a fiat network. It is pegged to, for the precious metal folks, it's pegged to gold. So they cannot issue more debt than they can handle, than they have reserves for. Synchrony Bank and most of these other large banks, they don't have that problem. They just don't. They can issue virtual debt, and it's all nice and legal. So am I concerned about these large banks doing what Flexa is doing? Not in the least, not even a little bit. Because if they were to do what Flexa is doing, they would have to have the reserve capital, not virtual, physical capital, to cover every bit of debt that they are allowing for. So every time they have a credit card that they issue to somebody with a $15,000 limit, they have to reserve $15,000 in cash. I don't think there's enough money on the planet to handle the amount of debt that is out there. I just don't think that there is. Don't pin me to the wall for that. You get that I'm talking, generally. But I don't believe that there is enough cash in the world for these people to hold it in reserve for all of the debt that they are issuing. It just doesn't exist. So for these large banks, these large payrails to do what Flexa is doing, they would have to hold that amount of reserve currency. Right now, I know exactly how much debt Flexa can issue. I know exactly how much. They post it. Go to Flexa. Go to the network. See all of that big market cap? That's how much debt that they can handle. Not a dollar more. Not a dollar more. Because if at any time they took on more debt than they can possibly collateralize, the entire system crumbles. It doesn't work. It absolutely flatlines. And when they do that, there is no more Flexa. I know that sounds rough, but it is also precisely for this reason that I absolutely adore what they are doing, because they are making a fully trusted network, and it's in their interest, purely in their interest, to make sure that it's ran and managed correctly. That's why they post the numbers. This is how much we have. This is how much we can support. So when you consider the sheer volume of your Visa, your MasterCard, your so forth, and how much they process, which is trillions of dollars annually, Flex is not anywhere near that. What are they at right now? Like 1.4 billion, depending on market cap. But again, this is a long-term thing. This is a long-term thing, but it is a long-term thing that is built on such a fundamentally sound process that I just don't see how it can miss. And I understand the jaded folks are going to be coming at me on this. Well, they'll just crush them. They'll just crush them. How? What are they going to do? Are they going to buy it? Are they going to buy it? They could. They absolutely could. I'm sure if they came up with a big enough number, Flexa would sell it. They're a business. They're a business. So it depends on how much they want to change the world. But could it be sold as a single system? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't dug into that. But you know what? I promise I will. I promise I will, because it's a good question. But could anybody do what Flexa is doing? No, absolutely not. Not in the way Flexa is doing it, and not in the type of scale that we're talking about for like a Synchrony Bank. These people are processing trillions of dollars worth of debt. So the only way they could do it the way Flexa is doing it is if they are holding trillions of dollars of capital in reserve. And they're not. They are not. The laws support them. It was built to support them. It was built to create a debtor network. And that's not going to go away. That is absolutely not going to go away. The only reason I can see that they would go after Flexa directly is if they, not to emulate them, because realistically they can't. They can. I think I just explained that. But to try to eliminate them from the market, sure, they could try. They could try. But it's not up to them. It's not up to Visa. It's not up to American Express. It's not up to the issuing. It's not up to any of these people, whether to use it or not. It's up to the merchant. It's up to the, hate to say it, it's up to the buyers if they want to use it. If they are leaning on if they come out and keep on the merchants, I'd like to use Flex. I'd like to use Flex. It might be in the merchant's interest to do just that. It's not hard to implement the system. They tell you exactly how to do it. In fact, they tell you in the white paper, this is how it works. This is how we can get it into your system. SK is written. All you got to do is put it in, and you're ours now. So it's going to be up to the merchants and the customers to decide if they're going to use Flex or not. Now, Flex is going to sell it. It's showing up more and more places. The casino in Vegas, which I think is neat, but it's a little bit shtick. So I'm not putting the huge dollar value on it, but it is really, really good for visibility. And the National Lacrosse team that is going to be using Flex and Network, I think that's neat. But until I read that article, I didn't know that there was a National Lacrosse League. I had no idea. I barely understand lacrosse. It's guys with sticks. And you know what? I'm not going to get into it because I'll just make myself look even more foolish than I'm looking right now. I didn't know that there was such a thing. Would I have been happier if they tied on to, National Hockey League? Yes. The NBA? Yeah, I'd be digging on that one. The NFL? Yeah, I would like all of these things. So it's being slowly rolled out, guys, but it's going to be more places. With them being in sheets and all this other stuff, now they're showing these merchants, look how well this works. So even though they're processing a small amount of crypto transactions, because I'm not changing my opinion on this, that the crypto market, the crypto investors, the crypto holders are not ready to spend it yet. And I could tail on to the whole Doge thing, but you know what? It's Saturday night, and I don't want to do that. I just want to have some fun tonight. But they're going to go to these same merchants, Sheets, Nordstrom, all these other places, and they're going to say, oh, see what we're doing with crypto? We can do it with cash. We can process your Visa transaction. We can do all of these things. All you have to do is use us, and we can do all of these things. And we'll do it at 0.5%. It is in your interest to do this. So I see the next step, the next big one that you're going to see at a lot of these little companies. And you know what? You heard it here on the podcast first. I think they're going to start, after they get more name recognition, after they start getting out there more, after they start showing up in more places, you're going to start seeing them processing limited quantities of cash transactions, your Visa, your MasterCard, so forth and so on. The processing system. So when you use a Visa card, it goes onto the Visa network. Visa network is doing what Flex is doing, but they're doing it. They have a separate issuing bank. So your Visa credit card didn't come from Visa. It came from whatever bank you're using. That's what it is. So the issuing bank itself I don't think they're really going to care who presents them the note. So the charge is made. Flexa takes the note. Flexa gives the note to the issuing bank and says, pay us. I don't think the issuing bank is really going to care one way or another. They get their fees through interest and so forth. So I don't think they're going to really care. Visa gets 3% of every transaction. So they take the note virtually. They present it to the issuing bank virtually. They get paid virtually. The merchant gets credited virtually. And Visa keeps 3% of it. Now, that's traditional payment processing. Flex is doing the same thing, but they're doing it at 0.5. They're doing it at 0.5. So, I don't see how this can miss. I mean, maybe there's got to be. I don't think anything can be this good. There's got to be something I'm missing. I am not 100% the voice of I know every damn thing about it. I've never presented it. Anything I tell you on this, please keep in mind, this is opinion editorial. This is opinion. This is the way I see it. This is what I gathered from reading the white paper and from digging into it and analyzing it. This is what I gathered. So, but I'm not a spokesman for Flexa. I would love to be a spokesman for Flexa. You know what? If anybody from Flexa is looking and you need a PR guy, I think I could do well for you. There's just something about me that It's just something about me. I don't know if it's an energy thing or not. But okay, anyway, look, I drilled that thing all the way down. This is Saturday night, guys. These are supposed to be fun questions. You guys have done something that I haven't seen on any other live stream, any of them that I've watched. You come at me with big questions. You come at me from outside the box. You know, you're supposed to just say, how high will it go? And then I can tiptoe around that, you know. But you guys set up a damn minefield for me. And you say, go ahead, see if you can make it. I mean, I haven't seen this on anything else. Have you, anybody dug through the comments on some of my videos? You are giving me both barrels. I absolutely love it, and I'm so excited about it because when we started doing YouTube, this is the kind of audience I wanted. I didn't want an echo chamber. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be a discussion channel where we can drill down comfortably into every little bit of minutia about our investment because this is our money. And I want to know, and I'm pretty sure you want to know, how it's being utilized. I think I think it's an important part of it. So, okay, anyway, man, look, I was going off. Belle, do we got anything else?
Everything else we've got is actually relating to staking.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
You know what, guys? Let me have 60. When I really go off on the passionate rants, it makes me real dry. So I apple juice. Let me wet the whistle. Give me just 60 seconds. I will be right back, and we'll talk briefly about staking. And then after that, somebody ask me some fun questions. It's Saturday night. You've got to have something besides something besides the serious ones. I will absolutely hammer away on them, and I'm happy to do it. But it's Saturday. Come on, man. It's supposed to be fun. So give me 60 seconds. I will be right back, and thank you. I'm sorry, I was hitting my cigarette. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for coming back with us here on the podcast. These are These are usually like the the Thursday night things. I talk for 20 minutes. I take 60 seconds. I talk for 20 minutes. I take 60 seconds. I'm sorry, I don't want to do that on Saturday. But again, man, you guys are hammering me here. I mean, you were just hammering. Ask honestly. Do you ask these questions on other streams, or do you save them for me? Or I don't know. Maybe I don't know if anybody else is doing a stream like this. Usually it's just charts. They put up the charts, tell you when to buy, tell you when to sell. I'm not a big chart guy. I don't know if you can tell. We tried it last Saturday. I just put the chart up while I was rambling, and the viewers told me, you know what, take it down, man. This is not you. And they're absolutely right. It's not me. I'm not a chart guy. I understand people use this to make money, and that's great. They make 3%, 4%, 5%. I think that's great. Anytime you're profiting, I think it's good. You should. Your goal in here should be to make money. So if you can make 5 or 6% per transaction, and you can do it on the little shorting, doing shorts, great, man. If that's for you. And in the interest of full disclosure, I absolutely do it. When the market is more bullish, I speculate. I do a lot more speculating, short-term speculation. I get in, I get out. But that's when the market's bullish. When the market is bearish, and I think all of us can pretty well agree that the market is very, very bearish. When it's bearish, I dig in, and I buy. I absolutely scoop it up. I don't want to tell you how much AMP I hold. Somebody asked me, somebody sent me an email, and they wanted to know how much amp I hold. I don't like to talk about my own money because that's not the purpose of this channel. I'm not here to say, oh, look at me, I'm rich, you should listen. I don't do that. I have a substantial investment in amp, and I'm just going to kind of leave it there. So with that, I think it is the absolute safest money that I have absolutely long term. I started buying in December, so it was still 0.00 when I was buying in, and I bought a lot, and I continue to buy. The only time that I've shorted this, and I made it real clear on my videos leading up to it, up to Coinbase. I made it very clear that I'm going to scalp. I didn't try to hide it or mask it. I tipped you the wink. I said all of this stuff. I said I'm going to scalp because what we know about Coinbase is one of the big things that we know about Coinbase for effectively any token, and particularly coins that get listed on Coinbase, is they see an artificial inflation. We know this. We've seen it over and over and over. They see a massive artificial inflation. And even though I am in AMP real heavy, I don't have all of it staked at this time. I will eventually. I have 80% of my AMP is staked, and I have 20% of it liquid because I don't want to miss an opportunity. I advocate you not to miss an opportunity. I always came back in my earlier, my general trading videos that go nowhere, by the way. Nobody likes them. How come you guys don't like those? I think they're some of the most well thought out videos that I do, and they are directly in my wheelhouse. They are good advice. They are just good advice. And nobody watches them. I don't have enough letters behind my name. I think that's what it is. I am a doctor, if that helps. Anybody who's, I've disclosed that. I am a doctor, so you should listen to your doctor. I'm not the kind of doctor that if you have a heart attack, you should call me. You should call 911. I'm the type of doctor that knows how to buy a degree and pays the upkeep costs because I just think it's cool to call myself a doctor. And I can disclose that it's Saturday night. This is fun. But I derailed myself. I'm sorry. I scalped the hell out of AMP. And I'm going to keep at least 20% of my total holdings liquid until this thing digs in, until it really starts to take off and get legs. So at this time, I am not de-incentivized from keeping my AMP liquid. I'm absolutely not. As the network matures, I will literally be de-incentivized from keeping my AMP liquid. I will absolutely be de-incentivized by doing that. And if you read into the white paper, it will tell you why. So once the network matures, then at that point, it's all going in. And I do this to my holdings. Doesn't matter. It's going to grow. You do you. Passive income. Love it. But as of right now, the network is not mature enough. There's still too much liquidity. So I need to keep some of mine out so I can scalp. That's it. I don't advocate it. But when you see something glaringly, stupidly obvious, take advantage. That's all I'm saying is take advantage. Why wouldn't you? You don't have to stake it all. Oh, and speaking of stake, I'm sorry, Belle, this is where you're supposed to pull me back in because if you let me ramble, I will ramble. This is what I like to do.
But yeah, I think you actually have people who like hearing you ramble.
I cannot imagine that. I really can't imagine that. There's not that much about me that's that engaging that people, I want to listen to the old man just go on and on. I try to stay focused, but I will absolutely chase the lights. So when I see something over here, I'm off script. I don't do scripts on Saturdays. There's no script. Everything you're hearing is me. But when I'm just on a ramble like that, if I see a detour, I will take the detour. So I want to try to stay focused. But speaking of staking, because people were asking, do you have a crypto wallet? I think that's, before we can get into staking, we have to get into Crypto 101. Do you have a crypto wallet? If you don't have a crypto wallet, I recommend MetaMask. I use MetaMask. I don't get money if you use a free MetaMask wallet, I get nothing. I use MetaMask. I started with MetaMask. That's what I've always used. I trust them. I've never had any issues. I use MetaMask. So if you were to take your AMP, say you bought it on Gemini, you bought it on Coinbase, so forth, but if you were to take your AMP and transfer it from the exchange, which you can consider the bank, your money's in the bank right now. It's in the Gemini exchange. I'm going to say Gemini because Gemini was first for AMP. So your money is in the Gemini bank right now. What you do with your MetaMask wallet is you go to the bank and you make a withdrawal. So you're going to take your AMP out of the bank and you're going to put it in your wallet. Think of your wallet as your mattress. So you take it out of the bank and you stuff it in your mattress. Now, the only person who has access to that once it's in your wallet is you, nobody else. They're not going to get hacked. It's not going to disappear. And I see these I almost cursed. Sorry. I see these FUD articles coming out all the time, and I've never seen such a pointed disinformation campaign than I see anytime that any of these major networks are talking about crypto. But they're not going to get hacked. All right, it's not going to disappear. Once it's in your wallet, it's yours, and it's yours forever. It's in the wallet. The only person who can take it out of that wallet is you. If you ever get any kind of email or text message or anything saying we need your seed phrase to verify your wallet, it's a scam. Don't do it. They don't need your seed phrase. The only person who needs your seed phrase is you. And you need to write that seed phrase somewhere and put it somewhere safe where only you have access to it. That's how you can get money out of your wallet. If it's not you doing it, they need the seed phrase. So if they give them the seed phrase, you just gave up your rights to that wallet. You gave it to a trusted partner. Don't do that. But I digress. Take the AMP out of Gemini and you put it in your wallet. Once it's in your wallet, again, I recommend MetaMask, but you do you, bro. Go to the Flexa app. Go to the Flexa network. And if you go to the Flexa network, it's going to have a little button over here on the right-hand side that's going to say, connect your wallet. Connect your wallet. Once you connect your wallet to the Flexa network, Flexa sees your wallet, and you just gave them permission to look at it. They can't manipulate it, but you gave them permission to see how much is there. They're going to verify the transactions. This is public knowledge. Not the who, what, when, where, why, and how, but just does it exist and where does it exist? So they know. At that point, you decide you're going to stake, and it's going to ask you how much. How much of your money would you like to stake on the Flexa network? It's even got a little slider. So you can slide over how much you want to stake. Once you do that, hit confirm. Now, you need Ethereum to pay the gas fees. You hear this a lot. And if you're not actually doing a lot of DeFi, you're not dealing with gas fees. But anybody who is on the DeFi, we are absolutely dealing with gas fees. Now, I staked another 1.8 million just a couple days. I didn't say that. Pretend I didn't say that. You know what? I staked another 18 AMP just the other day. And the gas fee at that time was $4. $4. So it cost $4 in Ethereum for me to stake that AMP. If you guys remember, let's say 8 weeks ago, gas fee, remember that? It was like $50 in Ethereum. It was like $50 in Ethereum to stake. To stake any amount of AMP, it was almost $50. I did it a couple days ago, and it was $4. $4. Do I enjoy down markets? You bet I do. I love bear markets. This is when you get rich. All right, bulls make you money. Absolutely. It's not hard to make money in a bull market. Put it anywhere, you make money, you're a genius. Make money in a bear market. This is where you get rich, in a bear market. I love bear markets. Now, I understand that's not popular, but I'm a pragmatic investor, and I'm a pragmatic trader and idealistic investor. And bear markets is the fountain of idealism right here. What do you think's going to work? Look at the big picture. Look at what caused it. Look what can fix it. That's the big thing. Look at what can fix it. And that's where you put your money. AMP is one of those tokens and Flex is one of those ideas that can fix a problem. I'm a big fan. Anything that fixes a problem, I'm a big fan. So there it is. I'm sorry, I saw that the bat was off it. No, I still love bat. I'm still a big fan. I don't remember who asked the question about bat, Belle.
That was Ray, and he was just asking if he was missing something.
Ray!
I just told him no, that you could only show 5 at a time.
Yeah, actually, if you look over next to the guy that's biting his fingernails, if you look over a little bit left of him, you're going to see bad on there. I had to shrink it down, but I put up the ones that I'm most excited about at this moment. Again, pragmatic. So these are the ones that I'm digging right this second. And I don't know if I want to talk for a minute, Belle. Give me another question.
Oh, and actually, Tom Smith actually jumped in with a comment saying, okay, you're doing better than Kiz. You don't need a swear barrel. So don't.
I'm sorry, who said
I
that?
wouldn't be. Tom Smith.
Oh, Tom.
One of our joint people from Survival Circle as well.
Yeah, Tom is over from the Survival Circle Radio Network. I had to take the Survival Circle Radio Network icon off in the backsplash just to fit the crypto up there. That's pretty much it. For anybody who is interested, Belle herself, and she does a show on Friday nights on the Survival Circle Radio Network. And Belle, why don't you link the SCRN into the chat for anybody who might be interested in hearing Belle's take on the world. She does it on the Survival Circle Radio Network. It's internet radio. They're a little bit dated on their tech, but audio is crystal clear. It works exactly the way it is supposed to work, very professional. So anybody who wants to hear Belle alone, SCRN is the place to do it. So Tom's one of our guys over from SCRN. I tried doing my crypto show on Survival Circle Radio Network, and it did not go over well at all. I mean, at all. It absolutely died there. But it's a different audience. I was trying to force something on people who just are not interested, and that's just bad judgment on my part. So that's why we moved over to here because, I have so much money tied up in my camera equipment and all that. You can't tell, but I'm digital mirrorless, prime lens, all that other good stuff. So we got quite a bit of money tied up in the camera, and you don't need that on radio. Now, it's rewarding doing radio because I'm not on camera. So I can tip my hat, I can smoke, I can drink, doesn't really matter because nobody can see me. So it's kind of fun doing it like that, but I like working without a net. That's why we do the live streams. That's why we do this is why we do the live streams. We want to work without a net. We want to build a community. We want to talk to you guys. You're us. You guys we're all investors. We are all idealists, investing in a very pragmatic product. And anytime you can get pragmatism and idealism to bond together, it is just absolute. I don't know if my passion is showing. I'm not trying to sell you AMP. I don't care if you buy AMP. All right, whether you buy it or not, it doesn't matter. Whether more people buy it or not, doesn't matter. This is going to grow itself. If you look at the white paper, the transaction fees which kick in on July 1 are going to be used to buy liquidity on the AMP market and take that AMP and put it onto the Flexa network and to give it out as rewards. So it grows all by itself. That's why I like Anchor. That's why I like Anchor so much. You see the Anchor over there? I adore Anchor. I'm going to be putting out a series of videos. I think the first one comes out tomorrow. But I'm putting out a series of videos on Anchor because I absolutely love what they're doing. I mean, I am as passionate about that one as I am about AMP. It's a more esoteric product. It's development. It's developer product. So it's a lot more esoteric. But they're doing something on the staking of Anchor. And this is how you make money in crypto, by the way. Of course, the price goes up, the price goes down. But if you were only making money on liquidity in crypto, you're doing it wrong. Let me take that back. I don't tell people how to spend their money. You know what? You do whatever you're comfortable doing. For me, when I buy a crypto, I'm going to put it to work. That's its nature. That's why I buy tokens. Tokens gain value through usage by being used. And one of the things that Anchor's doing, part of their staking process is if you were staking with Anchor, your rewards, you're paid in Anchor, but your rewards are paid to you by the Anchor network itself buying Anchor liquidity, bringing it in and giving it to you. So if that sounds eerily familiar to exactly what Flexa is doing, it's because that is exactly what Flexa is doing. So how could I possibly believe in one product that's doing it this way and believe in it with as much passion as I believe in it, but look at Anchor and say, nope, they're doing it wrong. Who would do that? That's just silly. They're doing the same thing. I think it's brilliant. I think it is absolutely brilliant. But again, these are... Anchor's been around since 2017. You know what, guys? Look, I'm pivoting to Anchor just a little bit. I'm also not trying to sell you Anchor. I don't care what you do with your money. I just like to talk about things that I'm passionate about, and I'm happens to be passionate about this. Before I pivot over there, Belle, do we have any more questions?
Oh, yes.
Hit me.
Jesus is God is asking, so if I stake 50,000 amp, how much would I get rewarded? And are the rewards daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly? And can I lose my amp or lose money?
Nope. Well, let me ask that a couple different ways. Currently, it's 3.85%. So for everything up there, you're going to be rewarded at 3.85%. Don't quote me on this. I could be off, but I believe that the rewards for AMP are given out every 15 minutes. I could be wrong, but we're talking about very, very small percentages depending on how much. How much did he say he was going to stake?
50,000.
50,000. What are you going to see there? You're going to probably see 3.85% of 50,000. So what? You're going to see daily 5-6 amp, maybe something like that. I'm sorry, 3 or 4 amp. You're going to see that probably every day or two. You're going to be seeing about that much. And it just goes directly into the amount that you have staked. It doesn't leave the staking pool. It just becomes your property now. I explained this on another video, but I want to dig deeper into this one right now. Flexa does not own the stake. You own the stake. So all of that staked value that you see on the Flexa network, that they're capable of processing $1.6 billion worth of transactions, that's not their money. That's your money. When you stake it, you do not give up ownership rights of it. It's still yours. And one of the big things with it is that you do not give up anything value that will be derived from the stake. So because they're using it, because they're getting a VIG on it, 0.5%, because when they use it, the intrinsic value of your AMP increases, that's why they reward you. But that's why they have to give you the rewards, because they used your stake to make money. They used your property to make a profit. You don't give up rights to that profit. That is staking. And you can put it in or take it out anytime that you want. It's yours. You own it. Now, is there a lockout period? There's always going to be a transfer time, sure. I mean, it's not like it's not like you're going directly to the bank. So there is going to be some paperwork involved when you're going to unstake, but it doesn't take long. So you own this. And I think that this is getting lost a little bit. You are giving the money to Flex. You're loaning the money to Flexa. You are allowing them to manipulate your property, but it's your property. So will the value go up and down? Sure, because the value of your stake is tied to the value of AMP. So as the AMP market fluctuates, the price value of your stake also fluctuates. It goes up, it goes down. When it goes way up, the value of your stake goes way up. Now, the rewards are given to you as a percentage of your stake. So AMP could be at $1 right now, and you would still receive as a percentage the exact same amount of AMP that you would have received based on the amount you have staked. Even if it was at a penny, you would still be getting the same amount of AMP, because AMP is not tied to, because AMP is not fiat. There's a fixed amount. So your stake will increase as the network increases. The value of your stake will increase as the network increases. But the amount of physical AMP rewards that you're going to get never change. Over a long enough time period, it will. As you get rewarded more and more, your stake gets larger and larger. Hence, you get more and more rewards because it's based on the total amount that you have staked right now. So over a long enough time period, your stake could get massive. But that is by sheer number of AMP, not value. So it's all about numbers right now for them. If you have this much stake, you get this much AMP. That's how it works. and the volume is still going to be tied to, the value is still going to be tied to the value on the open market. Now, it gets really interesting here. AMP has got a massive supply, 100 billion, and it needs it. It absolutely needs it, because as the network grows, it buys liquidity. So they need to maintain liquidity so that the Flexa network has something to buy. That's why it's so much. But again, this is where a supply and demand issue comes in. As more and more is staked, as more and more is removed from the network, as demand for it increases by people buying it, people keeping it liquid, but particularly the increase in demand from the market itself. Supply and demand is a reality. It's a law. As real as the laws of physics. And I know I've said this before, but I want to really make my point on this. The laws of supply and demand are as real as the laws of physics. That's why I think that this is such a beautiful system. You can ignore the laws of supply and demand, but you can't ignore the results of ignoring the laws of supply and demand. So they specifically designed a network in this specific way to not ignore the laws of supply and demand, to create a condition in which it can perpetually grow itself. Now, I understand that over a long enough time period, there will be effectively no liquidity in the market as it continues to grow, as the network itself continues to gobble up liquidity, that eventually there won't be any. Now, what's going to happen at that point, I don't know. And you know what? The white paper didn't discuss it. But based on the rate of consumption and the fact that there's 100 billion, it's 10, 15 years off. I think they'll hit the wall eventually. I have no idea when that will be or what will happen when it gets there. If somebody has the answer to that, man, I am all ears. But I'm looking a couple years in the future. I'm not looking 15 years in the future. Now, if it exploded, absolutely exploded, it might be a different conversation. But again, I haven't changed my mind. Slow, steady roll. All right, Belle, any other questions?
Yes, actually, Trevor asked earlier and I believe he was talking about Flexa, when they start processing credit and debit payments, it will change the risk profile for stakers. Is this where the partitioning comes into play so that people can stake on whichever they want?
I believe so. Trevor, I believe so. Now, one of the ways that they're dealing with it right now is that everything that is on the Flexa network is a single pool. So regardless of how many stakers there are, and I think there's, again, don't pin my ears back for this. This is top of my head, but I think there's about 20,000 or so stakers that are on there. Because it's set as a single pool right now, the risk is spread evenly amongst everybody. Now, from a purely dollar standpoint, greater stakers, people that have more money in the network, are taking more risk because it's just a percentage of the transaction. So the way it's designed now, and I don't know if they up their daily or up their limit on it, but I think the limit is like $250 a week, something like that. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. But again, this is still proof of concept point. So the reason that it's so low is to spread the risk, but also to minimize it at this time, because the network cannot handle massive losses. If they take really big losses, even through a recovery period, but if they take these really, really big losses, it's going to perpetuate itself. You know, one's going to lead to 2 to 4 to 8. Next thing you know, no network. So they are minimizing their risk profile right now by limiting the transactions so much. That's why they're only that. And I've seen people talking about it on the Reddit. They've asked about that. Why is the daily limit so low? Why is the transaction so low? That's why it's so low. They're protecting their own network at this time. It's still proof of concept. The network hasn't matured. As the network matures and the risk is able to be better managed, the transaction sizes will increase. It'll go from 250 to 500 to 1,000 to onward. But again, they have to do this because they cannot issue virtual debt. They can't. They can only issue debt that they have a 1-for-1 ratio for. So they're literally they're literally trying to do what traditional payment systems are doing, but they're doing it with handcuffs on. So that's why it's so small right now. I agree with it. I absolutely agree with it. As the bank, I want to minimize my risk. So that is how they are currently minimizing your risk. Trevor, I hope that answered the question. I don't know. Anything else, Belle?
Justin Lewis, why do you think more people are attracted to coins like ADA and Matic as opposed to AMP?
Well, we're talking about radically different products here. Now, I like Matic. I like Matic and I don't like Matic. Now, I understand it's it's kind of the flavor of the month right now in level 2 processing. So I like anything that's level 2 because level 1 is choked. It's getting choked. And when the market goes from bearish to bullish, you're going to start seeing that choke. It's going to start hitting you a lot harder, particularly when you go to stake your AMP on the DeFi. That's when the processing fees go from $4 to $40. That is pure supply and demand. So it doesn't hit you right now when we're bearish because there's not that much trading going on. I mean, look at the volumes. These things they're like stupidly low. People are just everyone's waiting. There's no confidence right now, so everybody's waiting. That's what creates a bearish market. FUD. People start to lose confidence, which makes other people lose confidence when it steamrolls. It's multi-level marketing for depression, and that's what causes the type of bear market that we're seeing. But in a bear market, the volume is low, so these processing nodes, they're hungry. They want to stay alive. Hey, we'll process anything. We'll do it cheap. So you start to see a buyer's market at that time as opposed to the other way around. They have all this capacity, but nobody's using it. They want to stay alive, got to keep the lights on. We got to process something. We will do it for you better, faster, and cheaper. And that's why you see the staking fee so low. So when you're getting into something like Matic, Matic is a level 2. So they are working on level 2 off level 1 processing. I'm a big fan. I know Ethereum 2 is coming out, and Ethereum 2 is supposed to address a lot of these scaling issues because Ethereum does not scale well. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't. I know I can have a developer absolutely pin me to the wall on this, but Ethereum is not scaling well. We're already seeing it. The crypto market as a whole is still just a nub. It's barely an idea now. I understand it's been around for a few years, but it's still just barely an idea. It hasn't hit mainstream, not even close. But if Ethereum is struggling right now with only 12 to 13% of the population actually invested in it, what do you think it's going to do when that number doubles, when 25% of the people invest in it? I also believe that is inevitable. More people are going to invest in crypto. They see the ideas. They see the innovations. They see that crypto can do something that traditional finance can't. They can do something that traditional tech can't because they're doing it a different way. They're doing it in a method that will only work with crypto. And people are catching on. Same reason I like NewCipher, because they are doing something that's only possible to do with crypto. And I'll get to NewCipher if there's any real interest in any of that stuff, I'll certainly make some videos on it. But the traditional market can't do what crypto can do. It's radical innovation that's happening down here, things that were just unthinkable 10 years ago. Nobody would even consider something like this. And now it's every day. More coins are rolling out. More tokens are rolling out. More ideas are rolling out. People are getting together and they're saying, how do we fix these problems? I love things that fix problems. First, you have to admit that there's a problem. Ethereum is a problem because it is not scaling well. The only way to scale it well is to overload it with nodes. And now you're at the point where you have so many nodes that as soon as volume dries, you start losing them. They become unreliable. They're not processing. Boom, they're gone. So they're thinking of a new way to do it. How do we process this off level 1? Now, it's one of the big reasons that I love Scale so much. I can't ever get close to it. I love Scale because they are also a level 2 company. But they're a level 2 company that is not marketing themselves as the Ethereum killer. They are not even trying to do that. Matic, all these other level 2 companies we're the Ethereum killer. Scale is not doing that. They are processing, but they're processing on chain. Matic, for the briefest of minutes, for the briefest of moments, and in computer time, we're talking about that quick, but for the briefest of moments, the transaction is not visible on level 1. It's not there. It's on the Matic network, it's processed, and then it's put back on. Now, from a point of accountability, I kind of wonder what could happen. What could happen for that very brief instant that it's not visible on the network? I'm not saying anything funny is going on, not at all. But I'm saying if you wanted opportunity to create some funny business, that's the way you do it. So they're doing it good, they're doing it fast, and I'm sure it's all on the up and up. But from me, who wants total visibility on the crypto network, I like Scale because they are not taking it off the network. They are the access road next to the freeway. But if you're on the freeway, you can still see it. Matic is a detour, and you can't see it for that moment. That's just me. Now, I'm a tiny little nub of a channel, obviously. So it's not like anything I say is going to affect the price of Matic. People like it. They have great partnerships. They're doing this for a lot of big networks. So apparently everybody's okay with this. This is a personal thing for me. I don't advocate. You know what? If you catch Matic if you can catch Polygon at 80 cents, you should buy. I'm just saying, you should buy. But there's a reason that Scale is up on my board and Matic isn't. So I don't know if I just detoured my way right around answering that question or not. But if you did, you hit a hot button for me. So please indulge my overly long answer. Belle, what do we got?
All right, next question is actually a fun one for you. Delilah Amiano. Dr. Scott, you said you're a blacksmith.
I am.
What have you made in Damascus steel?
I've done a few bits of Damascus. I like to make knives on occasion, but I don't have the heavy machinery. I don't have power hammers and necessary to make good Damascus. So when I do it, I have to bribe a bunch of my buddies over, and we do it Viking style. So I will create the billet, and I will have 4 sledgehammers going at the same time in order. Bink, 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 pounding that metal as I rotate it. So it's I don't make a lot because it is such a pain to make the Damascus. So I don't make a lot of them. And when I do, even if the Damascus isn't perfect, you know, this isn't forged in fire, I don't throw it out because it is such a pain in the ass to make that billet that I'm going to use every single bit of it. Primarily, I make armor. I like 14th, 15th century medieval armor. I stick with Italian and German. If you want the German from me, like something like High Gothic, you're going to pay. Not because of 2 reasons. 1, I don't need the money. But 2, it takes so much of my time. So if you want it, you have to really want it. And, you know, you're going to have to compensate me for that. But I like making I like making medieval armor. Yeah, and that's kind of where I stay at. So I use a lot more of 1050 medium carbon than I ever would Damascus, because I'm not going to make armor out of Damascus steel. I don't even know how I'd make a plate like that. That'd be interesting. Good question, though. I like talking about blacksmithing. I don't know if you can tell. I'm very passionate about it. I've been doing it for about 25 years. And yeah, that's it. It's one of those skills that you will only get by doing it. There's no quick way. There's no workaround. This is what it's going to take. Maybe that's why I'm so attracted to crypto tokens, because there's no fast money. There is no fast money. I get you the carnival coins, your Shiba Inu, your Richie Rich, Emerald, all of these real joke coins that people buy into because they're going to get rich quick. They literally have never read the white paper. I do. I go to read it because I read the funny papers too. I still got a newspaper and I read the comics because I like to laugh. So I go and I read their white papers. And you know what? You might as well just say multi-level marketing right up top. You might as well just start it right there, and then we get it. All right? It's a 100% absolute Ponzi scheme. And the way you make money in a Ponzi scheme is you be the first one in it. So if you hear of one that's launching, you know what? Throw $50 in it just for a laugh, just to see if that thing moons, because that's what everybody's looking at. And that's the problem that I have with the whole crypto market right now, is everybody's looking for the moonshots. And guys, the days of the moonshots they're over. You might catch them in some of these little carnival coins, but that is the exception to the rule. There's no point in this stuff. Your money would be better spent investing into a utility token that is offering a product that is making something that's solving a problem, something you agree with, something the idealist in you says this is a good idea. My goodness, how do more people not know about this? That's where you want to put your money. Not coins. If you got to put some anywhere, I don't want to go El Salvador here because it's Saturday night and I'm trying to have some fun. You know what, Belle? Give me a fun question. There's got to be a fun one, or maybe some of the. I know you like perused all the comments over this week, so.
Okay, so Octavio is actually asking, do you take Flexa Amp as payment for the armor?
I will take AMP as the payment. I will send you my wallet address, and you can pour the AMP into it. MetaMask, big fan. I will give you a 1-for-1 ratio. So the value of AMP, I will apply that completely towards your bill. And I would prefer that method of payment. I would prefer the method of any crypto payment over fiat. So we can work it out. It's no problem. You know what I wanted more than anything else? And it's Saturday night, so I can say this. Clearly, we're not a monetized channel. We don't make any money. It costs us a lot of money to do this. Equipment, hardware, bandwidth, time. It doesn't matter, but it costs us a lot of money to do this. And we're not a monetized channel. I don't think we'll be a monetized channel. We don't have that kind of pull. BitBoy, the scalpers, shillers. These guys have the pull. They get the big audiences. They get lots of subscribers. Tell us how to get rich, and they will. Are you going to get rich? No, but people like confirmation bias when they are investing in a product that they really don't understand. So they'd love to hear the confirmation bias. Oh my goodness, that's such a good idea. And when you're looking for a specific answer, it's real easy to find someone who will give you the answer that you're looking for. Nobody wants to come to a channel and hear, careful, you're going to lose money here. Nobody wants to hear that. So we're a pragmatic channel, and pragmatism, it just doesn't play well in crypto. That's really all it is. I'm sad about that, but it really doesn't play well in crypto because people don't want to hear that. So they're looking for confirmation bias, and you're just not going to find that here. Everything I give you is my opinion, man. It's not solid fact. I do my research, of course. I'm not going to talk about something that I don't know about, because what madman would go on YouTube and talk about something that they don't know about? I mean, what kind of craziness? Belle, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah, that absolutely is.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Fred the Felon. Love the name, babe. Thanks for joining us here on the podcast. But yeah, what madman would go onto YouTube and make a video that wasn't true? So by doing that, obviously we kind of go a different way. So we're not going to be a big channel, man. We're never going to be. Nobody's going to come down here to listen to me tell you, be careful. Nobody wants to hear that. In the crypto space, they want to hear, how do you get rich? And there are an abundance of channels that are offering you every bit of the very specific advice that you're looking for. But you're just not going to find it here, man. We don't do that. I tell you where I have my money. I tell you about a product I like, and I tell you about why I like it, and that's it. But I will never, ever pitch a coin that I'm not in. If I'm not in it, there's a reason that I'm not in it. And if there is a reason that I'm not in it, I will not pitch it to you. I am not in Matic. I love what they're doing. You heard my reasoning for it. I love what they're doing. I think it's great. But there is one little caveat to that I don't like. So I don't have my money in there. That's it. If you can live with that one little thing that I don't like, put your money in, man. It's a solid investment. It's a token. They're building. They have great partnerships. It's a good idea. I just don't like the implementation. I like the way Scale's doing it. So I'm in Scale. But this is what you're going to get down here on this channel. And again, this is why we're not going to be big, man. It's just not going to happen. I have nothing but love for everybody who's joining us here, everybody who's on the live stream. I have nothing but love for you guys. Thank you for making it easy for me. You are making it very easy for me to do what I want to do here, and that's just talk crypto. That's it. But I'm not trying to shill it to you. I don't. It's your money, man. I don't have that kind of what kind of balls does that take to get up there and stand in front of a camera and YouTube and say, you better buy this. If you don't buy this, you're stupid. What the audacity to make a statement like that. But I see it out here all the time, and these things have hundreds of thousands of views. You're never going to see a video I make have hundreds of thousands of views. It's just never, ever going to happen. Belle, talk for a second. I got to refill the apple juice. If there's another question, please keep them coming, man. I'm having a ball.
Oh, there are several more questions, so you're good to go on that one.
Okay.
Adam again asking, do you think that when the crypto market collapses, that AMP will get some real attention because it may be the only crypto that doesn't follow Bitcoin?
Fantastic question, Adam. Almost like I planted that on you. I didn't, but my goodness, I love these questions, man. AMP is also doing something that no other crypto, to my knowledge, I'm not all-knowing, all-seeing, but to my knowledge, and particularly for the ones that I'm invested in, AMP is doing the one thing that no other crypto is doing. No other crypto is doing this. Again, to my knowledge, if I'm wrong, please correct me. We have an open chat. AMP, if they continue along this track, and if they continue to go after traditional payments, which I absolutely fully believe they are, this is what they built it for. AMP is going to decouple from Bitcoin fully. AMP will be its own store of wealth, not a store of wealth that's based on the value of Bitcoin. Do you understand how massive that is? It is the very reason that I am pouring more and more and more of my money into this. Every profit that I realize on every other investment that I'm in goes straight to AMP because they are going to decouple from Bitcoin. And it will hit a parity point where the value of Bitcoin is irrelevant to the intrinsic value of AMP because AMP is its very own store of wealth. Bitcoin derives its value from investors. More people have to buy than sell, period. And I really don't want to go headbutting against the crypto expert that says, no, it doesn't work this way, it does this and this. It's a coin. It is a store of wealth. And its value is determined by supply and demand, period. If it isn't, explain to me how it fell from 71,000 to whatever it is right now, which I think is about 31. So if it derives its value from something other than supply and demand, please explain to me how it shed $600 billion worth of value. Don't even try. You can't. You know I'm right. And sometimes it is just that easy. It is just that simple. AMP will derive its value from usage. It says it in the white paper. The network was built exactly around this. It is secured by hypothecation, exactly the way it says it in the white paper. And as they go into traditional payments, it will derive its value from usage, payment, processing, not Bitcoin. And when it decouples, and it's going to be the first one to do it, but when it decouples, it's going to be a couple years. I mean, don't do this. Hope it's going to be a couple years. But when this decouples from Bitcoin, when the network is self-sustaining, when the network is further implemented, it will be the only crypto that doesn't care what the value of Bitcoin is. It won't matter. If that's what it did to me. As soon as I realized that, as soon as I read that white paper, I said, my goodness, they're going to decouple from Bitcoin. And as soon as I did it, boom, take my money, please. Belle, next. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I answered that question right. Sometimes my passion gets the best of me, and I am sorry about that. I want to try to be Dr. Scott. Wait, here you go. Let me make it better. So you have Dr. Scott here, and I'm here to tell you about a product called AMP. AMP. It's really good. That's my PBS voice, by the way. But it works better with the glasses. Belle, what you got?
All right. So
Don't laugh at me. Why do you always laugh at me? Every time I do, oh, you're funny. I'm not, what am I, a clown? Not a clown. I'm a serious guy. Look at the hat.
All right. So Justin Lewis asking, what should we expect from the July 1st merchant fee increase?
Justin, I did talk about this a little bit earlier. I'm not going to rehash the whole thing because, you know what? God forbid I had somebody who's been with me an hour and a half. I cannot imagine anybody that started the show is going to finish the show. This is the very beginning of the way Flexa was actually designed. As far as value directly to AMP, I would say temper your expectations. AMP has got a massive volume of liquidity, massive. And with the limited number of transactions and merchant fees that Flexa is going to be generating at this time, it's not going to move the meter. I understand that a lot of people have their hopes and prayers in this. I don't see it that way. This is me. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. You think I've never lost money in crypto? I could be wrong, but I'm trying to stay very pragmatic about current valuation of AMP. Not future. Anytime you hear me going off and I'm throwing my arms up and I'm very excited, that's the idealist in me. But when I'm talking about the actual price right now, that's the pragmatist in me. And the pragmatist in me says, don't expect this thing to move the meter. They're going to get solid data now. They're going to get absolutely solid functioning data, something that they can apply and possibly pivot if necessary based on actual data as opposed to theoretical data. So come July 1st, they're going to be getting actual physical data. The theory is going to be gone. Now the practice is in place, and then they can decide if they're going to pivot. I find it more valuable if I would find more value in any of this if they did decide, oh, you know what, we have to pivot a little bit. Not a lot, but just a bit. So I hope that answered the question, sir. Belle, what do we got?
All right, so Jesus is God. Scott, explain why you like Anchor and where do you see Anchor within the next 10 years? Because I had Anchor but converted it to AMP, but maybe you can convince me to get back to Anchor.
You know, that's tough. I'm sorry, who asked that question?
Jesus is God.
Jesus is God. Yeah, that's, again, man, you guys hit me with these questions. From a purely idealistic
does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Paul, thank you, sir. From a purely idealistic standpoint, wow, you're not going to like this answer. I'm trying to think of a good way I'm trying to figure out a good way to phrase this. I think they're both excellent investments. One of the things that I absolutely love about both of them is a similar staking model, meaning that you are rewarded with the currency that you are staked in, and the stake is purchased directly from the liquidity on the market. It's a brilliant idea. It's a way to perpetually grow both networks. I think it's brilliant. What Anchor is doing...
does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Ruben Gonzalez, thank you, sir. What Anchor is doing and why I am absolutely passionate. Do you guys really want me to go on and... I'll tell you what. I'm going to take 60 seconds. I've been talking for like an hour here, guys. I got to wet the whistle a little bit. I got to get some apple juice. So give me 60 seconds. I'm going to come back and answer this question. You have 60 seconds. If you would like me to tell you exactly why I am so passionate about Anchor and why I see similarities between Anchor and AMP, please put it in chat. And if Belle likes the answer, she'll tell me, and I will give you a little 5-minute blurb on Anchor and why I like it so much. So please give me 60 seconds, guys. It's tough to do this sometimes. We'll be right back. Thanks. All right. I happened to glance at two questions, and I'm. It's not my job. It's Belle's job. It's your job, Belle. Do your job. I'm not a good boss. I am. And I don't pay her anything, so I'm a great boss. But I saw two questions, and I didn't scroll up, so I didn't see it. But one of the questions I saw, or one of the statements I saw, was that they can burn coins. Flexa themselves comes out in their white paper and specifically says they will never, ever burn coins. It is detrimental to the network as a whole. It is artificially inflating the price. And just because it's burned doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So they would literally be shooting themselves in the foot based on their current model if they burned. So I just want to have that one out there. And let me see, what was the other one? Damn it, I missed it. There was another question. I'm sorry. Belle, do your job. Get me the question because it was a good one.
All right. Trevor was saying currently Flexa is putting up 2.5 million AMP tokens per day to pay staking rewards. Will they continue putting this after the end of the month?
Now, they did not specifically say in their white paper if they're going to take it up or if they're going to be taking that down. So currently, from my understanding, sir, the current rewards that they're giving out was back-end investors in Flexa. So that was directly to the Flexa network. It was not giving it STEP. It's operating capital. So they're taking their operating capital and they're putting it into their very own network. It's brilliant. I love it. None of us would stake right now with no rewards. We just wouldn't. What is the point? The point of crypto is to make money on the crypto as you are holding the crypto, putting it to work for you. You want your money to work for you. I'm a huge fan of staking. So I have a lot of AMP, and if I was not getting any rewards for it, I would leave it in liquidity. That is my only avenue to gains at that point, would be to leave it as liquidity. So Flex themselves is rewarding AMP investors because if they weren't, I would not stake. You wouldn't stake. What would be the point? You're staking money with zero gains on the hope that something good might happen to it. So that ain't a me thing. It might be a you thing. I'm not telling you what to do or not do. But for me, I would not stake if I wasn't getting something. So they're actually burning operating capital, but they're burning the operating capital and put it into there's changing the state of their operating capital. They're taking it from a physical holding and they're putting it into the network itself, expanding the value of the network, which we know this is how they're going to do to process payments because it's not fiat. They have to have a 1-for-1 ratio for everything that they're putting out. It's in their interest to continue to do this. Will they continue to do it? I'm going to say that it is going to, by percentage, it's going to trickle down. They're going to have to maintain something to the stakeholders. And at the infancy of the network right now, they are not going to generate enough that they can continue to reward us at 3.85%. They won't. So they are going to have to continue to reward stakeholders. They're going to have to incentivize stakeholders to continue to hold as the network grows. So will they continue to do 2.5 million? I'm going to say as a percentage versus merchant fees, no. So as merchant fees increase, the amount of operating capital that they pour into their own network is going to decrease, but it's going to maintain a parity of 3 to 4%. I think that's a good, fair number for this. For this. But, again, that's me. So I could be wrong on it, but it's the only thing to me that makes sense. That's the way I would do it. So did I want to go on the anchor tangent or not? Did anybody speak up on that, Belle?
Not really. A lot of people said get both AMP and Anchor, almost the same thing. But I think Jesus would really like to hear your answer to that one.
I'm sorry. Ask the question again. I'm clearly answering a text. Don't laugh at me. You keep laughing at me. You're fired, Belle. I need somebody else to come on and co-host with me.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. I'm one of the few women out there that's doing this.
Well, you're one of the few women that'll tolerate me too, yeah.
I do believe some of the reasons you like AMP, where you see it in 10 years, I think that's going to require a separate video to get all of those questions answered.
I love making my AMP videos. I really do, man. I think it's clear that it's a very passionate project for me. And considering the amount of my money that is in here, I think you could probably understand the passion. I went over this on another time, but I've already done well enough in the crypto space to change my life. I don't have to work anymore. I do. I mean, look at these hands. This isn't all from blacksmithing, man. But I've made enough money in crypto right now to change my life, and I don't have to work anymore. I'd be comfortable. I could run out the rest of my life. The very last check I write bounces, and I think that's perfect. But it's not about that anymore. You know, I want to change. I want to change my children's lives. I want to change generational wealth is what I'm looking to build right now. So I'm willing to do the hard work for it, and this is actually some of the hard work. But I love the AMP community. You guys are passionate. You're focused. When I go to the Reddit, there's not a lot of churn on there, meaning people tend to ask questions and give daily analysis, which I don't do daily analysis because why? You can look at the price, and because this is such a long-term project, I don't consider the daily analysis. I don't see the point. That's me though. That's me. If you like to know where your money is right this very second, there's a couple people doing it. I even saw one cat that's going to do daily videos for you. So he's going to be, he still uses, again, the big clickbait thumbnails, but I watched his show. I like it. It's not something that I would watch, but that's a me thing because this is such a long-term project that what it does day to day really doesn't matter to me. But again, man, if it matters to you and the kid's entertaining, you know, certainly give him a look. I can't link him because I don't remember his name, but it's not a slight against him. I think it's neat. But you're going to be seeing that every day from him. He said he's going to start posting those videos on the Reddit every day. So if you want to know what it's doing day to day, there it is. If you want to know where it's going long term, I'm probably your guy. But the AMP video market has gotten amazingly crowded now. As soon as it got some visibility, once it hit Coinbase, the AMP video market has got tremendously crowded. And it's been a lot of work trying to hit this thing from a different angle. And I recognize that the angle that we're going at is not entertaining. Anytime I do a tech video, which I consider the most important videos that I do, I got Trevor excited. He's been asking all kinds of questions. But anytime I do a video on the technical aspects of it, they do nothing. I mean, they absolutely sit there, and it literally hurts the channel when I do them. I consider it the most, I consider them the most important videos I do, but nobody wants to watch them. And it's a funny thing about the YouTube algorithm, man. If they find out that you're making videos that just nobody wants to watch, they will stop pushing them, and they don't show up, and then your channel dies. Like I said, we have no illusions of being a big channel, but we want to be a quality channel. But the only way we can be a quality channel is if people watch the videos. So we have to find the fine line between good information and entertainment. We have to try to find that infotainment line, and there's just not a lot of, there's just not a lot of opportunities for infotainment in AMP. AMP is a customer-facing pay rail, and that's just boring. I mean, it's absolutely boring. And I'm not going to come on here and shill. I'm just not going to come on here and tell you, oh, you're going to 100x. I'm not going to do that. There's too many other people doing it in the space. But getting back to the question, if I can find a way to keep it unique, doing AMP videos, if I can find a way to keep it unique, to present you new information or a new consideration on a piece of information that you already have, I will absolutely continue to make AMP videos. But right now the space is getting so crowded, and we're such a small channel that everything we do gets absolutely drowned out. It gets drowned out by the 1000x, by the do this now. If you're holding AMP, you must watch this. We get absolutely drowned out by that, and I refuse. You see. See the passion? I refuse to make clickbait. I'm not going to do it, man. The closest I came to clickbait was the very last video I did. But I even disclosed on it that this is not a traditional you're going to get rich video. It did well for us. For us, 1,000 views for any video we put out is huge. We are a baby channel. And I'm not going to go head-to-head with these guys. I saw BitBoy did one on AMP, and as far as influence, the guy's got 1 million subs. 1 million people tuned into him to watch him say buy now or sell now. I mean, they're all over this guy. But I'm never going to have that kind of influence.
Does internet porn know you're cheating?
Matt Hyde, thank you, sir. I'm never ever going to have that kind of influence, man. You guys, anybody who's been on this, somebody comment if you've been here since we started. I want to call you out. I would want to name you by name because, damn, that is. I don't know if you're a glutton for punishment or if I am just so persuasive that you're afraid you're going to miss something that I have to say. I would love to know that because that's fantastic, man. I'm sorry. Did I answer that question appropriately, Belle? If you're listening to me at all.
Well, I have been listening to you. We were talking about Anchor instead of AMP, and you kind of got derailed, but that's okay.
Were we on Anchor?
Sure.
I am so sorry. I thought it was an AMP question. Somebody was asking me about if I'm going to keep making AMP videos.
Nope, I was stating that to answer Jesus is God's questions, we might want to consider making Anchor videos because there were a lot of things that I think a video about Anchor would be good for.
Anchor! My goodness, that is an excellent question. Tomorrow, I'm kind of pivoting all the way over to Anchor because I love Anchor. And one of the big reasons that I love Anchor, and our very first Anchor video is dropping tomorrow, it's what you would expect of us here at the Podocasts. We don't give you price predictions. We don't do any of that. I feel like an ass now. I went on and on talking about AMP, and the question wasn't about AMP. I'm sorry. I'm not bright. Our very first Anchor video is dropping tomorrow, and it is of the type that you would expect from the podcast. I'm not going to give you price predictions. I don't do that. I give you, we kind of take them as a series. So the first one that we do is a general overview, look how neat this is. And then after that, we start drilling down. So the second video is ready. I haven't chosen a release date yet. I think people can only take so much of me. And for the first time ever, we've been getting unsubscribers. So I don't know what I did, but suddenly, at first we were the flavor of the week, and now it's like, we're just sick of this guy. So I have to start limiting how often we put them out. But the very first Anchor video drops tomorrow morning, and it is an overview of Anchor and why I like it from a very, very, very general sense. So if you're looking for me to drill down, I don't drill down in 10 minutes. Most of my videos are about 10 minutes, and I can, my average view time is about half that. So some people watch them all the way, but other people just click 10 seconds, see this face, and they're off. But the first one is dropping out tomorrow, and it's kind of getting into why I like Anchor. But I can give you kind of a general overview of it right now. Anchor is crypto for the cloud in a very, very, very small nutshell. Anchor is crypto from the... I have to sneeze. Oh, that's embarrassing. I used to do radio, and that was I had a sneeze button. We call it the cough button, but I had the cough button, and I can't get to my stream deck because my booze is in the way. But there we go. One of the big things that I like about Anchor is that Anchor is making it very, very easy to expand the crypto space. One of the things that's necessary, it's hurting right now because it's a bear market. I still got this sneeze in me, guys. I'm sorry. Because it's a bear market, not a lot of people are making the capital investment necessary to really start to expand the crypto space. That's what it's going to take. So bear, everything compresses. Bull, everything expands. Anchor is one of those tokens that makes it very, very easy to do it. But one of the great things that they're doing at it, and we're talking about a company that is going head-to-head with like Amazon Cloud Services and stuff like that. We're talking about they're butting heads against a player. One of the difficult things about the crypto space are hardware requirements. We're seeing a lot of that in China. The fact that so much of the hardware and power and so forth that is devoted to the crypto space, you have to go to some place like China to be able to set it up and to run it profitably. So data centers are expensive. Now, I work in data centers. I'm there every day. I can't tell you. It doesn't matter. But I'm in there every day. So I know what it takes to run a data center. I know what it takes to put one up. I've commissioned them. I know the hardware requirements, the physical requirements, the power requirements, the manpower requirements, the technical requirements to run and maintain these big-ass gray buildings that have no windows. All right? It is astounding how much it takes to actually set those things up. So anybody that wanted to compete from a physical standpoint is competing against players that already have these things established. Your Facebook, your Google, your Amazon, your Microsoft, these massive complexes of data centers. These things are already up. Now, they had enough foresight to know that they will never utilize all that data, but that data was in demand. It is a huge demand, is data storage. Huge, massive. So they had enough foresight to start putting these things up 15 years ago. And they are still putting them up every day, more and more and more. They are pumping trillions of dollars into this. So what crypto needs is a way to get into this, and a way for them to be able to integrate with the cloud, with these massive buildings that are already up. Anchor is the way. With Anchor, you can set up a node, a processing node, a validator node. You can set one up in 3 minutes. 3 minutes with Anchor. Show me anybody else who is doing that. So I get into that on the next video on why I think it is, why I think it's there, and why I think it's such a good idea. And again, it comes out tomorrow, guys. Please watch it. I expect it to absolutely die on the vine. There's not enough desire for it. People don't know about this. It's tech. It's boring. Our tech videos do nothing. So I'm not expecting much from it, but I will stay on it because, again, I think it's such a good idea. And I want to round out the channel a little bit, but I'm only going to do it with projects that I think are worth it, projects that I have my money in. And there's, 12,000 cryptos now? I don't have money in all of them. I who does? But Anchor is one of those that are bridging the gap between the crypto space and the traditional space. How could I not be for that? If I am into AMP, who is bridging the gap between crypto finance and traditional finance, I see these two as they're going after. They have the same idealistic view. So I am for both of them, but they're doing them differently. I could probably speak a lot more intelligently on Anchor because I physically work in the space. So I know what they're doing. I know why they're doing it. AMP, I don't work in traditional finance. So everything that I give you on that is conjecture. It's conjecture based on their white paper. It's conjecture based on common sense. But I don't work in traditional finance. So what do I know? I just, this is the way I see it, and this is why I'm putting my money in. That's it. Anchor is a little bit of a different animal because, again, I work in the space. So I understand exactly why. And I can speak intelligently on it. That's why we're going with Anchor over New Cipher. I will be hitting New Cipher. I put out a scale video. You can find it on my channel, but nobody was looking for it. So that thing just went pfft. And by now it's staged enough that it'll never show up on a search. I mean, it's basically dead air. If you guys want to know about scale, I have a video on it, so you can take a look on that. So, Belle, do we have any more questions? Because we've been almost 2 hours, and
I know.
No?
I know we have. No, I was saying I know we have.
Yes.
Bert Dockery, there's 2 questions that I think you can answer. One of them is really quick. He wants to know what you think about ADA and what flavor of apple juice tonight.
ADA is another good product. I know what they're doing. I like what they're doing in the space. I don't have any money in it. You know what? I'll make you a video about it. How about that? I will tell you about ADA. I can't do that because then I'm going against myself. My current flavor of apple juice tonight is that because I'm doing well financially, but I have trouble spending money. So I don't know if anybody else does that, but every bit of money I spend is money that I can't invest. So my preferred beverage, my preferred version of apple. Oh, look at AMP. You guys see that? Look, you all made a bunch of money. Look at there. It was 5-5 when I started. Quick, go scalp. My preferred flavor of apple juice is one called Crown. I don't know if you've heard of this before. It's Canadian apple juice. So that's my preferred version of it. But I also enjoy bourbon and bourbon apple juice. It's a very unique flavor. It hits like a truck, but it hits like a truck for half the price. So I have trouble spending money. That's a me thing. My company buys my clothing. I don't know how much pants cost. Let me put it right there. I don't know how much pants cost. I haven't bought trousers in years, and everybody in my life, it drives them absolutely nuts because I'm always in work clothes. But I don't see the point in buying something that is provided to me. It just doesn't make sense. I have an Apple iPhone 5. I think it's a 5. I don't know. It's an old one, but it works. I can get text messages and stuff, and most importantly, I can use it to call other people, which is kind of what I use a phone for. I know that the new ones have all kinds of new features, but I can't see me spending $1,200 on a phone when I could use my old phone and buy $1,200 worth of amp. Or I've been putting a lot into Anchor lately. I mean, it is just absolutely bargain price. Do you see that price? This is a company with a $500 million valuation. And the reason that token is so low is because their reward mechanism is similar to AMP. They have to maintain liquidity to reward stakeholders. You're the bank. You're paying for this. So they have to maintain that liquidity. Therefore, they need 7 billion minted tokens out there to purchase off their own network to reward stakeholders. And by the way, making money with staking on that, it's about 7 to 10%, depending if you're staking Ethereum or if you're staking Anchor. It'll take either. So there you go. Belle, we got about 5 minutes. So if you would like to, if there are any other questions, please address them. I would love a funny one or something from the comments or something like that. Who was that? Somebody was coming at me for saying the name of my channel wrong. What was that about?
Oh, yes, that was on the video you released just a few days ago. Someone was actually asking if you could pronounce the name of the channel to the podcast.
Is that what that was?
Yes. Now, guys, number one, he later after we told him, okay, this is based on a play off of Scott's last name. So yes, we can assure you that it is pronounced correctly, and that's why he then tried to ask, well, what's your name? Sorry, guys, producer says no, we are not giving out Scott's full name on this channel. That's a little bit of a rant of mine, but you know what? The guy's got kids and a family. Yeah, he deserves a little bit of privacy. So come on.
I think it's funny we're talking about privacy when I splash my face all over YouTube, just constantly. So no, I think I'm kind of open to the public by now. I'm not going to give you my last name. I'm just not going to, man. But I can assure you that ThePodocasts is pronounced correctly. All right, it's a play on my name. The first. You know what? Nope, not going to dig into it. She said no. So I happen to agree with her on this one. I have I get a lot of tunnel vision when it comes to myself and my own personal, you want to say security? I tend to look the other way because I talk. I talk a lot. Look, microphone, sterling microphone. I talk a lot. So sometimes I probably give more info. I already did it once on here. And I will never do that again. I'm not going to talk about my personal holdings, but I tend not to take my own personal security, not safety, man. Nobody's going to whack me, a 49-year-old guy with a graying goatee. Nobody's going to come to get me, and it's not like anything I say is going to move the needle of the crypto market at all. But I do tend to not be as smart as I should be sometimes. So the podcast is a play on my name. I assure you it's pronounced correctly. Podcast. It's not Podo. It is podcast, and I assure you that is correct. Were there any other funny questions? I would love to end this on a funny note as opposed to a Jerry Springer note.
Well, I'm just gonna throw out that when I further responded to this guy after he asked what your last name was, I flat out told him, we're not gonna go there, but I can assure you his name does not rhyme with Frodo. Come on.
No, my name does not rhyme with Frodo. It is absolutely that is pronounced correctly. The Podocasts. Oh, I want to give away some T-shirts tonight, guys. We have I ordered. Here's vision. You ready for this? I ordered $2,000 worth of T-shirts. Dumbass podcast T-shirts. I ordered $2,000 worth. We're not selling them. Oh, look at there. My push just went to nothing. Guys, if my video drops off, it wasn't me, and hopefully the audio continues. I'm sorry, my push. We have some storms going on right now, and I'm pushing effectively 0 kilobytes right now. So we'd like to give out some T-shirts. I spent, there it goes. I spent all this money on I hope the audio's still going out. But I just spent $2,000 on from a guy who doesn't like to spend money. I just spent $2,000 on T-shirts. Now that is wishful thinking, because nobody is going to see you in that T-shirt and say, "Boy, I wonder what the podcasts are. I wonder what they're about." No, nobody's going to say that. But I bought them to give them away. So if you would like some T-shirts, we want to give them away. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to defer it to Belle right now because I want to finish my apple juice. So Belle, you figure out a way to give away 2 T-shirts and give them your contact information so that you guys can stay in touch. But you decide, I'm projecting this onto the co-host. You decide how we're going to give away 2 T-shirts this evening. And go.
Ooh, good.
Everybody's
You
watching,
guys,
man.
You guys know I am a big trivia buff, right? Okay.
Okay.
Author of Sherlock Holmes. First 2 people who can answer that question will get T-shirt.
The author, Arthur Conan Doyle?
Yeah, you just.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you could give a big question. I didn't know that was it. I'm sorry. Do I get a T-shirt now? Because these ones went away. We got a new logo. I got a new design and everything. And I got a nice girl, a friend of my daughter's, who is she's a graphic artist, and she's going to be redoing. Obviously, she has to come up with another question, guys. But Arthur. A friend of my daughter's, she's a graphic artist and she wants to do freelancing. So she has said that she's going to rebrand me. I didn't even know I had a brand. I didn't know I was a brand. I had no idea. But they are the target audience that we're trying to reach. Even though my audience tends to be older. Guys, I understand. I'm an older guy. So, yes, I get it. But they're going to rebrand me. So these T-shirts will be $2,000 worth from a guy who doesn't like to spend money. But these T-shirts will be the last ones, and then the next ones will have the new brand. So I thought it would just be best just to get rid of them. And so we're going to give away. Belle, figure out something else and do it quick. We got about 60 seconds, and then I'm calling it because it's tough to talk for 2 hours.
Well, Neil actually did answer before you gave it away.
Okay, Neil gets one.
Yes.
Put your email in
Tom
chat.
Smith.
I've never
As
fixed
did Tom Smith.
Tom Smith. Hey, look at that. One of the SCRN guys. Okay, great. Then put your email in there. Her email on the splash screen is wrong. I let all of the podcast.com stuff expire because we're not doing social media. I would love to do social media, but I don't really know what that is or what that means. If there's anybody who would like to help this channel grow, get in touch with Belle. She'll put her email in the chat. Tell us how to do that, and we will certainly embrace it. And I promise you, if you do that, you get all the free podcast T-shirts and hats you want. There you go. But, guys, look, we're coming to the end of this. I cannot thank you enough for sticking with us through this, and I hope you got some value from it. If you enjoy the Saturdays, I certainly do. If you guys enjoy the Saturdays, if you're going to keep tuning in, I promise you we're going to keep doing it. We're pivoting off from AMP a little bit. It's always going to be the focus, the main focus of this, because it's where the bulk of my money is. So by percentage, I'm going to be talking about the products, tokens, that I am in based on a percentage of money that I have in them. So we're always going to stick with AMP. That's always going to be up there. Please join us for any of the AMP chat. But I will be pushing on to a couple of the other products that I really, really like that I have money in. And again, we've explained that. So Belle, why don't you say goodbye, wrap us up. I'll hit the button and we're going to call it good.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, who joined us tonight on the podcast. Oh, yeah, I still can't believe the last name thing. We thank each and every one of you, and great questions, you guys. Absolutely keep those coming. We enjoy them. We absolutely enjoy those. We will be back on again on Thursday night, also at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, as well as next Saturday, also at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We definitely look forward to your comments and questions on our videos, as well as the things you're throwing out here on the live stream. This is amazing, guys. Thank you so much.
And you can catch Belle on the Survival Circle Radio Network every Friday night at 1900 Central. Do you guys like that? That's the radio voice of me. Guys, it's been a pleasure, guys. We'll see you next time. We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at the podcast host